we are looking at an elite fighter pilot, a creature with unrivaled speed, supercomputer memory, and a heart rate over 1,000 beats per minute. They are right outside your window. The Ruby-Throated Hummingbird. But a hidden crisis is brewing. Millions of bird lovers are making a critical mistake. A mistake that turns a backyard sanctuary into a deadly hazard. Today, we dive into the hard science, the essential care routines, and the secrets to turning your yard into a premier hummingbird haven. The anatomy of an elite flyer. To understand why their care is so vital, we must understand their extreme biology. During normal, relaxed flight, a hummingbird flaps its wings 50 to 80 times per second. But during a high-speed courtship dive, that number skyrockets to an unbelievable 200 beats every single second. They do not move their wings up and down like standard birds. They rotate them in a flawless figure-8 pattern. This generates continuous lift on both the forward and backward strokes. It is the exact mechanical trick that lets them hover seamlessly, fly backward, and even navigate upside down. Their internal engines run incredibly hot. A flying hummingbird's heart beats 1,200 times a minute. They take up to 250 breaths every 60 seconds. And when they feed, they do not suck up the liquid like a straw. Their tongue is deeply forked and lined with teeny hairs. It darts out 10 to 15 times per second, trapping nectar with capillary action before pulling back inside. Segment 3, the Great Iowa Migration. Every spring, a miracle of navigation unfolds in America's heartland. Our ruby-throated hummingbirds arrive in Iowa right around mid to late April. The males touch down roughly 2 weeks ahead of the females. They do this to stake out prime resource-rich territories. By early September, their fall migration peaks. Most will begin clearing out of our local spaces by October, but their journey is grueling. To reach their wintering grounds in Central America, these tiny birds, each weighing less than a single penny, must face the ultimate test. They fly 500 miles completely non-stop across the open, volatile waters of the Gulf of Mexico. No rest, no landing, just pure, uninterrupted endurance. Segment 4, the genius memory algorithm. How do they survive such a brutal trek? Through sheer intelligence, hummingbirds possess a highly developed hippocampus. This grants them staggering spatial memory. They exhibit extreme sight fidelity. This means the exact same birds that fed from your porch last year will travel thousands of miles back to the exact same Iowa yard, or wherever you're watching from. But their brain goes even deeper. They actually calculate the nectar production rate of each individual flower. If a specific bloom takes 3 hours to refill its sugars, the hummingbird tracks that time. They schedule their return route down to the minute, ensuring they never waste precious energy on an empty flower. When we hang a feeder, we aren't just putting out a decorative item. We are hard coding a permanent resource into a wild bird's GPS and daily survival itinerary. Segment 5. Feeders. Feeder selection and the sunlight trap. Because they depend on us, our equipment choices matter. The market is flooded with plastic and glass options, a mixed array. Personally, I currently have be nice, guys. 3 glass units that I'm using alongside 2 high quality plastic ones they have the rubber silicone lining and seals on them, as well as the silicone flowers that are nice and easy to clean and better quality than the others that seem to break easy. And the glass actually insulates a lot better, and it will generally keep it cooler, especially if you chill the liquid as I do. Glass feeders offer distinct advantages. They hold up beautifully against rugged outdoor elements. They resist scratching, which means fewer microscopic grooves where bacteria can hide. They are heavy enough to prevent raccoons from easily destroying them. The setup, which, trust me, they've been giving me a test this year, knocking over bird baths and all kinds of stuff to try to get. But glass holds a hidden danger. The sunlight trap. Glass acts as an insulator, trapping environmental heat. If a glass feeder is left in direct punishing sunlight, the internal temperature of the nectar spikes rapidly. This triggers a hyper-accelerated fermentation process. In hot summer weather, sugar water ferments into toxic alcohol and dangerous black mold in just 48 to 72 hours. Drinking fermented nectar causes severe liver damage and fungal tongue infections, which prevent the birds from feeding altogether. The golden rule: position your stations in high shade areas and cycle the contents constantly. Sometimes I won't fill them all the way up. I just put a little bit in there so that I'm sure to cycle it out faster and not waste any. Segment 6, the perfect nectar formula. Let's address the single most searched topic online, the recipe. You do not need commercial mixes, and you must never buy the red nectar, please. Artificial red dyes, specifically red dye number 40, contain chemical compounds that can cause kidney failure and severe bill tumors in wild birds. The birds are attracted to the red structural parts of your feeder. not the liquid inside. Keep the food pure. The scientifically proven formula mimics natural flower nectar perfectly. It is a strict 4-to-1 ratio. 4 parts clean, preferably filtered water, to 1 part pure white granulated sugar. Never use raw sugar, organic brown sugar, honey, or molasses. These variants contain high levels of iron, which is highly toxic to a hummingbird's system. Mix your white sugar into boiling water until completely dissolved. Let it cool completely. A pro tip, chill the clean solution in a mini fridge or fridge before hanging it out. This cooling phase delays environmental thermal breakdown, keeping the nectar fresh for a longer window once it hits the heat. Segment 7, the lab-grade cleaning method. Cleaning is not a quick rinse. It is a meticulous reset. You should clean your stations every 2 to 3 days. Bring your components to the kitchen sink. Avoid harsh commercial dish soap if possible. If you use mild soap, your rinsing phase must be absolute. Rinse until you think it is clean. Then rinse it thoroughly 3 more times. Any residual soap film will ruin the digestive tract of a feeding bird. For a safe deep scrub, utilize hot water and a dedicated manual tool. A standard budget-friendly toothbrush from Dollar Tree or the dollar store is the absolute premier instrument for this task. The stiff bristled pattern fits perfectly into the threads, the internal base channels, and the main reservoir cap. For the micro ports where the birds insert their bills, do not assume water pressure will clear the blockages. Take fine toothpicks, pipettes, or dedicated micro straw cleaners. Physically clear out any trapped organic matter, wasp debris, or early stage mold spots hiding in the ports. Segment 8, Advanced Anthill Defense. The second biggest issue backyard host space is an ant invasion. Ants can smell sugar water from vast distances. Once they find a feeder port, they crawl inside, drown, and ruin the entire batch of nectar. The solution is an absolute mechanical barrier, the ant moat. Some modern glass models or plastic come engineered with built-in ant moats. For traditional styles, you can hang an independent external cup directly above. The science here is beautiful in its simplicity. Ants have no swimming capability. By filling that upper barrier with plain water, you create an impassable ocean. The scouting ants hit the water line, cannot cross, and your ports remain safe and ant-free. Just be sure there aren't plants nearby that are touching it. Sometimes, like with my wildflowers, they can get tall, so the ants will find any way they can. But managing these moats can be clumsy during a fast cleanup. Here's a professional studio workflow tip. When reassembling your layout at the sink, utilize a dedicated sink bracket attachment. A lot of modern sinks have them, or even a drying rack, but this bracket acts as a mechanical assistant, holding your independent ant moats completely upright and rock steady. This leaves your hands entirely free to operate the faucet and fill the moats perfectly to the brim without spilling a drop. A warning for your setup: never use shortcuts like petroleum jelly or insect sprays on your feeder poles or hanger hooks. If a hummingbird accidentally brushes up against petroleum jelly, the oil coats their specialized flight feathers. It permanently destroys their natural waterproofing and feather alignment, rendering them unable to fly or regulate their body temperature. By managing our backyard spaces with high scientific standards, we preserve an incredible natural cycle. We aren't just watching nature, we are actively fueling it. Ensure your ratios are verified at 4:1. Keep your glass shielded from intense sun spikes. And be sure to keep those ant barriers filled using your sink workstation, or however you feel works for you best. The ruby-throated hummingbirds have traveled thousands of miles to claim a spot in our local Iowa communities and across the nation. Let's make sure their dining stations are safe, pristine, and ready. And most importantly, enjoy your visitors as well. Thank you for joining me in the studio tonight. Be sure to hit that follow button if you haven't already. And share this guide with your fellow gardeners. And drop your backyard bird questions in the comments below. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dreya. I am also an independent journalist. This is my non-political outlet, so for those of you who like to get away from politics, news, this is the channel for you. And if you're interested in following as well for independent news, be sure to check out Exposed News Outlet. I'll definitely leave the link below. And have a wonderful evening, a good day, whatever time it is there. Thank you for watching. And as always, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Thank you.